let's just see. And now, if only I could get chat up, that would be cool. Let me see here. Ah, I got it.
Yay!
It's Miracle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi there. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. And today I am very thankful to have my wonderful co-host Anastasia here for the show. Thrilled to have her.
Hey, everybody out there. Salutations and grand rising.
Sweet. And for those of you who do not know Anastasia, she is one of the leaders of the Mississippi chapter of Black Lives Matter. Am I getting this right?
Mother of yes, you are.
9 children. Yes, you heard me. I am not misspeaking. 9. And yes, she's in the military for 24 years of experience. And from what she's told me, she's done incredible things. And she's an overall amazing human being.
Oh, so are you, baby dog. You are amazing and beautiful.
You're so sweet.
You really are.
Well, it's been a rough, as you know, Anton, welcome. And GETV, thanks for being here. It's been a rough 2 hours. I just ended up, I'll just be, real because I'm real. It's what I do. I just cried my ass off for an hour because right when I was about to send a little bit of a summary of what we're going to do tonight to my friend Anna, I was on my Gmail and lo and behold, what did I see? My first piece of mail up said, you are cordially demonetized off of YouTube. And this is just after getting off a seven day, in trouble where they booted me off my own goddamn channel. Sorry, I said it. And then now a couple of days I'm on and they said I'm demonetized, not because I don't meet the qualifications, but because they reviewed it and decided I'm no longer monetized. So it's been kind of a smack in the head. I was gonna say slap it. No, more like just a beating. I don't know. And they don't tell you what you did wrong. Nice. So I have no freaking clue. So that's what I've been through. So I've done crying. I'm back on. I'm thrilled to have Anna. So let's get started.
Well, Kim, can I add this? All of my heroes have records. They all have mugshots. So the fact of the matter is that you are definitely official and clearly you're doing something right because you pissing them white folks off.
Thank you, Anna. You're so sweet. Thank you.
No problem.
I literally cried for a freaking hour. That is just not something I normally do, but I just cannot seem to just get a freaking break here. Anyway, I'm still here and I'm going to diversify and go on to a couple other platforms and hopefully people will follow and I just can't. I'm really hated by YouTube and Facebook. What can I say? Welcome, Dave. Hi, I am Legend. Thank you so much for being here.
It's their loss. It's their loss, not yours.
Thanks. I'm one of those people who needs to get a better self-esteem. It makes me feel like such a loser, especially they don't tell you what you did wrong. It's like, oh my God, it's just like you're randomly, sorry, you're done. And you know what, as a white person, I know that I'm just lucky people even listen to me. And because like Anna was saying, and like I've said in many of my live shows, it's not the same because you see, I can quit anytime. I can pretend I don't give a shit about other people. I can pretend, what racism, huh? I can do that anytime. And that is a privilege. But I'm still human and I'm like, God, I just keep starting all over. And all right, enough about me. I'll do a couple announcements. Then we'll get into our things for tonight. And I hope everybody watching can jump on in and tell us what you think. That's what we're here for.
Yay.
If you, I'm a little down on social media right now. Okay. If you ever want to get a hold of me, boop, personal message me right there. I don't know how to do it because I've never personal messaged myself, but that is the way to do it. People seem to do it. So I know you can do this. Personal message me. If you have a topic you want me to do, something you want me to say, Timmy, I'm in, Thank you. Tim says you're in defense of the Black community. That's what you're doing. Thanks, Tim. Tim, I don't know if you heard, Tim's one of my very best friends. I just cried for a freaking hour because they demonetized me, but I'm not going to get back into it. I'll tell you, I was going to call you, but I was just, poor Anna got the brunt of it. Sorry. Anyway, let me see if you'd like to call in. We still got that going on. I'll put it right here. I'm so happy you're here, Tim. You can call in there, and hopefully you're not too shy to call. Today's topics. Oh, GTV. Usually what happens when you're doing better than other folks, they want to bring you down. GTV, thank you so much. And
exactly.
That's a really nice way to look at it. I look at it as, you're so cute. I always look at it as like, I'm just not doing well enough because like, you know, I'm into the self-blame. You know, it's a gift. What can I say? I come from a long line of insecure people. I don't know, but this means the world to me. And I keep getting kicked down by these people, basically trying to kick me off the platforms, and they won't tell me why. Tonight's topics. Thank you for your support, everybody, especially just everybody. Tonight's topic, we're going to talk about today in racial history, which kind of freaked me out because I did not know this. Videos of the week, really fast. Texas abortion laws and its significance to you. You might think, what? I don't live in Texas. Oh, but it's important for everybody. And we will definitely be talking about why. And abortion is a very, very loaded topic. But in this case, I got to say, there's no controversy, but okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. And then Candice, Owens, and Larry Elder, we're going to have Anastasia is going to lead a topic on that. And she is going to tell us what's going on with them, what she thinks, and we want to know what you think. So let's get started. Today in racial history. I'm going to blab. Now, you guys got to tell me if you know this already. I'm just out of the loop. I learn something every day. As a white person, I will never get there. I'm absolutely aware because I still learn something every single day, and I will till the day I die. And it is not a hobby. It's a lifestyle that I am committed to. And if you are a white person watching this, you don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to be schooled. You just have to freaking care about your fellow humans. No, not to be a hero. No, not to lead the pack, not to be some savior, but because it's called acting human. And in our country, I'm sorry, we have a white person problem. And I am here to change that narrative, if not for two people. It's not a people think, oh, Black people, this. No, we have a white person problem. And so it is up to us as white people to take some responsibility. It's called racial responsibility. So that being said, GETV, why are Americans so in defense or against wearing a simple mask? Because we're entitled as fuck. I don't know what to say. What do you think? I don't know.
The thing about it is, like I said, white people are not used to their bodies being policed. Mm-hmm. And let's be clear, when their bodies are policed, they're going to be violent.
We lose it.
The littlest thing. If it's inconvenient for them, it's a problem because this country, not the landmass, but this country was created for white people.
Yep. That's it. And we just cannot fathom the idea that there are other people around who maybe don't want to be getting our germs and our viruses and whatnot. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's not everybody, but it's most of us.
Can I say something about that? We have to look at the fact of spreading diseases around. The white race is known for spreading diseases around. And this is not I'm talking about white people. I'm talking about the simple fact, Christopher Columbus spreading diseases to the indigenous people. I'm talking about the Trail of Tears, the Trail of Death. I'm talking about diseases that were given to population.
Totally, purposely.
Totally.
Some of them, yeah.
Diseases that they had and they didn't get treated. So we're not going to play these games like this is not a regular thing. You know, I'm not even going to validate myself by saying anything. I'm just saying, let's look at the history, let's look at these diseases, and let's look at who spread them. Period.
Yeah. And Anastasia, that's an excellent point, because the other part is, as we are doing all this, we're blaming all the brown and black people for it. We like to blame others for what we are doing. Like we say, you know, oh, the black community did this. No, we did this. We have a white person problem. And for example, what they used to do to Mexican people was abhorrent, atrocious. They thought that they were dirty. So we used to like dunk them in bleach and crap that's poison. And oh my God. And you know, this kind of thing, when we are actually the ones who purposefully, knowingly spread our viruses and our bacteria to kill people. So it's like, don't even go there. But
and the swine flu, the pig flu, you know, the first case was recognized in Mexico, but those pigs and what was going on came from the United States.
You know, right? I don't know much about that.
So when people are saying, "Oh, we're gonna," and this is not me saying it, when they used derogatory names for COVID, okay, let's call it the white people flu, because that's where swine flu came from. Let's be clear about that.
Right. And we love to label, and you know, we do this with everything. And I'm not going to get into this because I know we have a lot to cover tonight.
Right.
We do. You know, when I was little, people would say, if somebody calls you a name, you say, I know you are, so what am I? Well, that's what we do. We call people everything that we're doing, and then we're so in denial. So it's enraging. I loathe bullshit. It just kills me. It's like, I don't care if the truth's sad, scary, awful, at least be freaking honest. And we as a culture, a white culture, we don't go there.
Right.
I know. All right. Today in racial history, the one I'm presenting tonight, that we are presenting tonight, comes from the Equal Justice Initiative, and it's a nonprofit organization. It's a law firm. Today, 11 years ago on September 8th, an Alabama inmate won his lawsuit, enabling him to receive and read a book called Slavery by Another Name. I'm sure you've heard of it, by Douglas Blackman. It's an amazing book. And as the title suggests, the exploitative and inhumane convict leasing system, slavery by another name. But some say may have been even worse, because no one gave a crap about people. They weren't even considered property. So this convict leasing system strongly resembled enslavement under the pretext of criminal punishment over crimes that weren't crimes. They were crimes of living. You were actually living. They made it a crime. They take African-American people, arrest them on frivolous, ridiculous charges, sell them to plantations, turpentine farms, mining companies, railroads, coal, dangerous work in perilous conditions to pay off some sort of debt, which is a bunch of baloney. There was no debt. It was slavery by another name. And they wouldn't let him read it. I don't know if you guys knew this, but this is what Today in History is about. The following are books that are banned in prisons. Let me tell you a little, you're not going to believe this. Narrative, I'm just going to zoom them off and we'll explain more about this. Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. I have that book. The Soul of Black Folks by W.E. Du Bois. Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson. Dream from My Father by Barack Obama. The Bluest Eyes by Toni Morrison. She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb. Kindred by Octavia Butler. Books by James Baldwin, Malcolm X. Alex Haley, Toni Morrison. Michelle Alexander, hello, that book's on my shelf, and other Black writers are frequently targeted. And for example, North Carolina, the North Carolina barred incarcerated people from reading Melba Pattillo Beale's Warriors Don't Cry, a searing memoir of the battle to integrate Little Rock Central High. They got rid of 12 Years a Slave. Oh my God. There are, in Kansas alone, there's 7,000 books that are banned. If you are imprisoned, they are afraid that you might learn something, okay, about the truth about our real racial history. Incarcerated people in America must have the books mailed to them, and the prisons or jails check it out, and they censor it and review it. And every state has a list of books that are banned and not allowed. And often these are broad, extreme, restrictive, and the courts have provided the prison officials total discretion to censor reading materials that present a serious threat to security. What a crock of you know what. So, and what the state officials, they really explain why they take them. They just say, no, you can't read it. And that might think, well, oh, what's the big deal? Are you kidding me? You are punished. You are in freaking, you can't move around. You are being punished. Your freedom's gone. For the love of God. Now they don't want you to learn the real truth about prison, the real truth about systemic racism. Anyway, Anastasia, do you have any comments? That's Today in History. That's the segment.
Well, also on the 9th will be the 50th anniversary of the Attica prison rebellion and uprising. I don't use riot because that is a white racist term for people standing up. So it's a rebellion, it's an uprising. And the situation is the same thing. They were fighting because of the dismal treatment and abhorrent treatment of the prisoners and, you know, just overall human rights violations. And so I'll read a little bit. It says the Attica prison revolt, prison insurrection in 1971, lasting from September the 9th to September the 13th, during which inmates in New York's maximum security Attica Correctional Facility seized control of the prison and took members of the prison staff hostage to demand, wait for it, improved living conditions. After 4 days of negotiations with the inmates, state police officers stormed the prison, killing 29 inmates and 10 of the captive correctional staff members. Now, mind you, the inmates only killed 4 of them. You see what I'm saying?
Holy.
But yeah. And so that's what that is. Now, we just learned another situation that was going in Arkansas, where an Arkansas doctor is under investigation for providing anti-parasitic drug to thousands of, to the prisoners. Now, I watched it today, and he's saying that they knew about it, and
they're saying they didn't.
They did not know about it. So we know. First of all, why are you giving this to these people without telling them? That's the first thing. So, you know, they've always experimented on prisoners. We know that.
Yep.
So this is
another freaking experiment on people. And you know what, Anastasia, and I know you know this, but I don't know if everyone else does, because I was reading this stuff. These people haven't even been convicted. Not that it matters. These people are awaiting trial.
Yes.
One of them are probably going to be very innocent. I mean, my God, they're experimenting on people because they can. And I hope to pray this doctor gets prison for what he did. How dare he?
And they don't know the long-term issues of it. It's so funny. I know we're going to talk about the abortion thing. And with the Planned Parenthood, you know, they do other things. In Mississippi, the Planned Parenthood cannot even do abortions. But it's so funny with the mask, my body, my choice. Vaccines is my body, my choice.
Total hypocrites.
Make me do this. But when it comes to, you know, abortion or a reproductive rights, oh, that's different. You know, that's different. So it's just funny to me, the hypocrisy.
And we will definitely be getting into why suddenly that is so different. The hypocrisy is real, and it is just, it's the way of, it's the MO of the far right. And it's absolutely disgusting. You know, when you're in prison, and I'll go on, we'll get on to the videos of the week, but when you're in prison, hey, I don't know why in the United States, and we for our similar, equally wealthy countries, we're on the very bottom. First of all, as you all know, we imprison more people than, oh my God, don't even get me into it. It's, yeah, nice, liberty and justice for all. Oh, except for we put people in prison more than any other country, definitely any Western country in the entire world. And we're right up there with Iran and China and oh God, don't even get me started. It's a punishment to have your freedom taken away. Why do we insist on tormenting these people in prison? We're experimenting on them now? For the love of God, this is sick shit. I mean, we have gangs that are overwrought with, it doesn't have to be this way. It's a choice. For-profit prisons. Because you know what? In America, all that really matters is the bottom line. Screw humanity, screw people. It's disgusting. So I don't get why we did why we do it, why we keep doing it. I'll take a couple comments and we'll go on to videos of the week.
Can I add in something?
Absolutely.
I got the numbers. As of 2020, roughly 2.12 million people were incarcerated in the United States. In China, the estimated prison population totaled 1.71 million people. Just putting it out there for you.
Yep. This is what we do, and we do it for profit. First of all, okay, don't even get me going. I'm going to move on. You get arrested. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. I kind of like, don't we kind of go with that? But the minute you're arrested, if you're incarcerated and you can't afford bail, guess what? You lose your job. You lose your life, you lose your friends, you lose your communication, you lose your freedom, you lose your children sometimes, you lose your house sometimes, and you may not have even freaking done the crime.
Yep.
This in and of itself is a crime. It's a crime against humanity.
That's what happened to Khalif Browder. Khalif Browder was in jail for 2 years because he couldn't make bail. And all kind of atrocities happening, and he eventually killed himself.
Yep. Is that he was accused of stealing a backpack?
A backpack.
And the young man killed himself because he was tormented. This is what we do. It's disgusting. I just want to go over a couple comments. I'm not going to be able to get to everybody, but I will sure do my best. Let me see. Where are we? Oh, I'm Legend. Are you going to discuss the removal of Robert E. Lee statues in Virginia? We can definitely discuss that if you wish. I think, Dave, let me see here. Do you hear that Governor Abbott said that we can put an end to rape in Texas? Wow.
He did.
Wow.
I didn't know it was that easy. He must have twinkled his nose like really, dude?
Somebody's got a God complex going on there.
Yes.
Sorry, that's obnoxious. Unbelievable. I'm Legend. I'm glad that the statue's down. Robert E. Lee owned slaves and was known to be more harsh to his slaves than any other. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yet, he says, read the autobiography. Mr. F.S. Black. Thanks, I Am Legend. Definitely. I have it sitting somewhere behind me. Have you heard of the Georgia District Attorney, Jackie? Oh, yes, I have. Jackie Johnson, who was recently indicted for obstruction in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Can I please say, that's a start.
That's what I was going to say. I'm going to hold my business because, one, she's a white woman. And what we got to understand about this country, they're willing to eat their own and they're willing to sacrifice their own. But I don't know about this white woman. I don't.
The bottom line for me personally, as a white woman, is I am so over this. I am so done with white, innocent little no. In his case, the entire freaking community knew and they kept quiet. This was, not everything's a conspiracy, but sometimes it is a conspiracy. This entire community knew very, very well what was happening. They know they murdered a young man in cold blood and they all shut up and covered for him. I want to see every last person. I'm not into being vindictive. These people, this is like the olden days. Like this reminded me of basically no one's going to tell and no one's going to, my God, but we're not in the olden days. We're in our days. They covered up. Every last one of them covered up. And I Yeah.
Is this any different than when lynchings went on before? You got to remember, it was always a family affair.
Absolutely.
The police, law enforcement was involved. White women were involved, and nobody said anything. So, I mean, the thing about there's nothing new under the sun. So I'm not surprised.
What they did to that young man, and I'm getting off track here as usual, was barbaric. It was barbaric. They hunted him down like an animal.
Yeah.
And then left him in the street to die.
Yeah.
Basically, while they stood around. I mean, I have so much empathy for so many things, but what they did was barbaric. And every last person covered up.
What I want you to understand is that we keep making it seem like this is exclusively evil. This has been going on. So the thing about it is normalized. That's why they were so comfortable doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. The whole damn community covered it up. Then every neighbor who walked into the home that was under construction, there were tons of white people walking in there. Yep. They knew they walked in there, but if a black person dares to go in, no, that's privilege, and he deserves to be hunted down and shot and killed.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, I'm getting off the subject, but yeah, I can't normalize it. I know our white society can. I personally can't. It's just I kind of like. Guess it's kind of nice being like an ignorant fool, and because I wish I could do it, because you know what? I'm lying. I don't. It's horrible. But anyway, I can't normalize any of this stuff. So that's why I get up in arms about everything. I just don't get it. Anyway, enough about me. Videos of the week. Did you want anything else, Anastasia, about that? Or
no, the only last thing I was gonna say was normalizing dysfunction. And remember, we said there's roughly about 2.12 million people incarcerated. We are at the levels of 1830 of slavery in this country. In 1830, there were 2,948 million slaves. So we are worse than from 1830 to 1790. Congratulations, United States.
We are inhumane. And it's open. We all know it. And you know what? Pretty much us white folks are pretty much okay with it. Because you know why? If we weren't, we'd do something about it. But we're okay with it. So I am not in a good mood. I'm just like, it's ridiculous. All right. Jump in anytime. I tend to rant and rave. As everyone knows, I've had a little bit of a rough hour crying my eyes out.
Is righteous. And see, this is the thing, and I'm going to say this, but you've seen American Gods when Anansi the spider is on the slave ship. I showed this to you before. And he said, anger is good. Anger gets shit done. And what we're talking about it's not even about violence. It's about the fact that you should be angry, but have a plan. You can use your anger constructively. So all that you're feeling right now, use it, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't be able to sleep. You shouldn't be able to just have a happy life. I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, we can't think about it. You may not be able to think about it, but me, yep. Right, you can't. I don't have the choice of saying, like the thing about the Robert E. Lee thing. I'm not going to get into that, but I'm saying if you go to the pages, you should see the disgusting people, the disgusting state I live in.
Oh, I cannot imagine what you have to endure. I cannot imagine. And I mean, the bottom line is I can pretend I don't give a shit. I can just pretend I don't see racism, and I can pretend I have no clue about my real racial history. And yeah, that is a privilege. And when I look at what white people are doing, a lot of people think, well, they're kind of catching on. You know what? You don't have to be black or brown to be very, very angry. This country needs to be better than this. Yeah. This is not forming a more perfect union. This is absolutely a crime against humanity. The systemic racism and the greed with capitalism is a ongoing crime against humanity. And if you're white and you're not pissed, something's wrong with you. Sorry, just saying. I'll say it. I don't care. I'm serious.
You gonna piss the white folks off. They gonna come after both of us.
You know what? Just come after me. I speak the truth. I'm speaking truth to power. I am not going to be involved in lying, or even worse, in my mind, doing nothing and saying, I'm just nice to everybody. Sorry, it's not enough.
No.
Not enough. That's not going to dismantle anything. That's going to keep the status quo nice, just the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to go any more to say? I'll go on. Otherwise, I'm just blabbing away.
You got it. Go ahead.
Awesome. I'm so happy you're here. Okay, we're gonna go over 3 videos. The next, just real fast, videos of the week. 3 videos, and I obviously put up more on my channel, but these are the 3 that kind of stood out. The first video that I posted is actually by an actress, a famous actress. She was named V. Richards. She recites a powerful, powerful piece. Like I watched it twice, like a deer in headlights. I was like, damn, I'd never heard any Black woman at that, it was long ago, speak like that and speak such truth. She speaks not just truth to power. It's called, the title is A Black Woman Speaks of White Womanhood, of White Supremacy and of Peace. And she speaks of white womanhood. And it highlights, in my mind, as a white person, this is my interpretation, it highlights the fact that white tears from white women are valued over Black people's freaking lives. And that is, I mean, that's disgusting. So Anastasia, I know you have a lot to say about this, and jump right in.
No. You're going to show the video now? No, go ahead.
I can't show.
No. Were you planning on showing the video, or you just want to talk about it? I'm sorry.
I'm not going to show that video because I'm really rare right now about that, but I will show the other ones. But that one, check it out. It's on my channel. It's 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes long, and she is like, she'll blow you away.
So this is the thing, right? It's a problem when you start believing your own lies. Okay, let's be clear about that. I got 3 points because I told you I was going to make bullet points because I don't speak on white women. You know that. I don't have conversation for that. You speak on white women. I don't speak on it because, you know, I'm in the ilk of, if you don't know by now, you won't get it from me. You will not get any education from a victim of racism, and you shouldn't expect that.
Not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility.
It's not my job. It's not my job. You need to go talk to the manager. So that's what y'all like doing anyway. So you like that, didn't you? You like that.
That was a good one. Yeah.
I know. Mm-hmm. So I'm here all night. So my whole thing about it is, when she's talking about these things, I reflect on the things that's going on now. You have a TikTok challenge where people, white women, are showing you that they can turn their tears on and off. It's called the turn off challenge. The fact that white women are doing this, and from what I was told under these videos, that some of their mothers taught them how to use that and how to do that. How many towns, how many were burned to the ground? How many people were murdered because of the lies and the tears of a white woman? How many conversations were shut down because you felt uncomfortable? The other point is that this myth of the Southern Belle, the fact of the matter is that what she's talking about is that my child, it's still going on, my child starved, so your child could feed off of my breast, but you don't even want to eat next to me. My kid fed, my breast fed my body birthed your husband's children. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're upset because he would prefer to horribly rape me than lay next to you. So when I think of some of the things, I'm like, the fact of the matter is that a white woman's cage is lined with Black bodies. Let's not go into the fact of rape. White women sexually assaulted Black men. And let's not, it goes on today to the point where you have white women that are on videotape saying, well, you know, if I tell them that you raped me, you're going to go to jail.
I have a friend that came on to the show and actually said, go ahead, sorry, I just had to.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
I have a friend who actually came on and did a video about how a former, would say, I'll call the police. I'll tell them. It's like, I mean.
Or you hit me. And does that get offered to Black women? Not at all. You just had a white football player that beat the hell out of his Black girlfriend. And they were not in an uproar about that. So the fact that and then, like I tell people, this thing about white women in these movies where Missy Ann is trying to teach people to read and all of this bullcrap, those are lies. You have white women, 40% of all slave owners were white women. So to end the point of this, white women, just like Bill Burr said on SNL, this is not my fight for you. The things that's going on in Texas, now don't get me wrong, reproductive rights, we're gonna get on that. But there's a lot of white women that had a part in that. The second thing about it is those women that voted for Trump, but then want us to go wear these pussy hats with them.
Oh, yeah.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, I won't go in those marches because it's a white woman's march.
It's a white woman's march.
No, I understand. I hear you.
You don't give room. Half of them, more than half of them, I'm not going to see them at no Black Lives Matter march. You're not going to see them at no Free Palestine march. You're not going to see them at no LGBTQ plus, because the simple fact of the matter, they are apparatuses of white male privilege and apparatuses of white male patriarchy, because they're in there. I can't speak for white women, but from what I see, it's about legacy. You're gonna have to speak on it for white women, and that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, and you're absolutely spot on. I mean, you're very nice about it. I am so over and done with white women getting this little pass. No, we are just as guilty as hell, if not more, because we understand what sexism is, and we allow our sisters and brothers who are brown and Black to be tortured and tormented. And all the images are, one person who enslaved somebody taught them to read. Oh, no. Our white tears and bullshit have caused so much harm and cruelty, just pure cruelty to our brothers and sisters. And they are our brothers and sisters, whether we white people want to admit it or not. White women need to take racial responsibility. And that's why I won't go in those marches. I'm not going to go to those marches so that all my Black friends could not get invited to the luncheon afterwards. Bullshit. No way.
I'd like to add on two things. The casual killing law. The casual killing law, y'all might want to research what that was. And Dr. Joy DeGruy does a great piece on slave PTSD. But what she talks about is the casual killing law. And it was, if you kill your enslaved person in correction, you cannot be prosecuted. Well, who were being killed? They were children, biracial children that were products of rape.
Yep.
So, and if you look at these stories, Harriet Tubman, one of the reasons why she had the neurological problems. Did I say that right?
Neurological, yeah, absolutely.
Neurological problems is because her mistress hit her when she was trying to hit another enslaved person and hit her, or she jumped in front.
To protect her, yeah.
Yeah, so these are the things these laws and these things that go on. It was to protect white women. And let's be clear, You talked about George Washington, about his teeth. But let's be clear about the horrible slave owner that Martha was, especially when they moved from where they were in New York to Philadelphia. When you got grandfathered in when they moved to Philadelphia, and what she would do was march her slaves from Philadelphia back to New York or wherever they were going to go every 6 months to start the clock over with. So
yeah, white women. I mean, I just, enough is enough. We raise the children. We let the fathers remain racist, and we give them a pass. We allow them to indoctrinate our children into the next generation of racist families, and we let the cycle continue. We are absolutely, our tears have caused more massacres, more heartache, more cruelty. I mean, hell, even when Frederick Douglass was, pushing for the vote, these so-called, far left women who wanted the vote, they were evil. They were evil to him. They were not for him. They were asses. They were horrible. I mean,
even if you look at women's suffrage and the feminist movement, the suffrage movement, they wanted Black women to walk behind them. And when it came to Black men, I forget which one of the famous suffragists it was, but she was like the Negro, or what they called us back then, should not get the vote before his mistress. Exactly. They were not for everybody, just like they're not for everybody now. The countless white women that make more money than Black women, they know what they're doing. The countless white women that, and this is not a bashing on white women, this is the truth.
It's just the truth, and people don't talk about it enough, Anastasia. And
right, it's empirical data that shows that just because they say diversity, that doesn't mean Black people. Nope. That means white women. Affirmative action helps white women.
You benefit more.
Right, white women are gatekeepers to white male patriarchy. Yep. Period.
You allow it.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I mean, we have fully. Hey, Jason, you're so sweet. We have fully, absolutely used our positions for evil. I'm sorry. And no, I don't hate white women. No, I don't hate white people. I'm a white people. I just expect a little more. I'm sorry. And I like to be real about this and this hidden history and how we've allowed this to continue. This ends with me. And if every white person, not to be a hero, not to be the leader, to act like a fucking human. Sorry, I swear a lot. If they could just say, this ends with me, I will not be a party to this bullshit. No. We should join our sisters and brothers and really get somewhere. But no, wouldn't want to do that. So I'm not bashing, like you said, but I'm just speaking the truth. Anyway, thank you so much for everyone for being here. Do you want to add anything else before we get to our next video?
No, just white women don't expect Black people to do your job.
Nope.
Do better, white women.
Yeah, Nails and Glitter, affirmative action was originally for poor white women. I believe that, absolutely. Step up to the plate, drop your ego, and start caring. It's not that hard. It just, anyway, blah. I'm just blabbing now. All right, Anastasia, you did it awesome. And this whole Karen thing, this is nothing new, but we won't get into it's nothing new. It's just changed in form. That's all.
Karen's being Karen.
Mm-hmm. That's Karen's nothing new. That's Karen. Yep. All right. Our next video of the week is extremely disturbing. It was to me. I mean, you know what? I wasn't shocked, but I was incredibly disturbed because nothing shocks me because I am starting to really grasp onto the depth of depravity and cruel. They're not in your history books. There's no place that you're going to learn this if you're white. The only person who's going to teach you is you. And it's not the responsibility of Black and brown and indigenous people to teach us our own real racial history. It's ours, which we want to run like the plague. So this next video showed a man who he's a he refurbishes furniture, and he was doing a chair in Georgia, northern Georgia. I don't know if I'm getting that right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the chair was stuffed with the hair, the actual hair of enslaved human beings, like lots and lots. It was like, oh my God, like they were just animals. And you know, the reason I bring this up, because there's a lot to talk about this video, and I know, and you're gonna definitely, I know you have something to say, but I wanted to just say, for my part, concerning this video, I want to impress upon white folks the vile depths historically that have been hidden, and how it speaks volumes about the sheer level of dehumanization, inhumanity, barbaric treatment that we've bestowed upon our fellow humans. We did this. You personally didn't do it, but I'm sorry. We benefit from it. We know about it. We're supposedly, in power. Yet, it wasn't that bad. Oh my God. If you do not know our real racial history and you're a white person, you are incapable of understanding the repercussions of and the current systemic racism that plagues every area of modern life. You don't, no offense, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Your opinion is one that comes from an ahistoric view. And I'm sorry, no, you don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, I'll shut up. Anastasia, would you like to add to any of that about this chair thing? And maybe,
I have a question for you. Well, not a question. Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. And it's very profound to me that people in general keep getting evidence and they're shocked. I'm not shocked by any of this. You know why? Because I know my history. I also know the disgusting, tragic atrocities that white America has done to Black people, has done to indigenous people, have done to Asian people, have done to Hispanic, Latinx people, have done to everybody that was othered. My only question is, when are you going to start believing them? Because I don't understand why you're shocked. Okay, so you have a situation where you had the lynching of Mary Turner. Mary Turner's husband was lynched, right? Mary Turner's husband was lynched. She was 8 months pregnant. So because she complained about her husband being lynched for no reason, they decided, who are you to—
how dare you?
Right. So they lynched her. And as she was dying, her 8-month baby, that's why when they say, oh my God, what's going on with the babies that's going to be aborted? Are you serious? This baby was cut out of her stomach. And when the baby fell to the ground, they stomped on the baby's head. So when these people, these bastards, talk about anything about we care about babies and we care about this, we care about that, I always think about that. I often think about the pregnant women that were thrown off, not just during the middle passage, because if there's a middle, there's a beginning and there's an end. I always think about the slave ship Zog, where because I don't know if you know, well, you probably know, where if you had, because we were cattle, if your cattle dies of infection or disease, you don't get any insurance. But if they drown or something like that, you get your money. So you threw 150 Black people over a ship to get insurance money. When I think about the lynching of Jesse Washington over supposedly some white woman, it's always some arbitrary white woman, how they beat him, cut pieces of his skin off, cut his genitals off. Now, mind you, he's still alive at this point in time. Then they proceeded to lynch him with a metal chain and have him hovering over a bonfire. As he's trying to pull himself up, they're cutting his fingers off. Yeah. So when you ask me a question about what I feel about it, I don't feel anything about it. It's just like the story of the scorpion and the frog. And when the frog is in the he's like, hey, why did you strike me? Now we're both gonna die. And what did the scorpion say? It's in my nature.
Yep. And when somebody who's white like me tries to teach other white folks the truth about a real racial history, we probably try to meet people where they're at. But once, we get to a certain point where it's imperative that white folks know the details. Details matter. We were barbaric. So do not question.
Please don't say were. Please.
Let me continue. Yeah. Do not, the barbaric things we did physically that you as a white person look back on and like, oh my God, you can't believe. Okay. You need to know about every last one of them because we're still doing it. It's only changed in form. And if you don't know the sick buck-breaking farms and the cruel, disgusting horrors, I'm doing a couple videos, beginner videos on January 1st, lovely day for Black people who were enslaved. It's the day they get their children ripped from their arms, or they don't know what, and you never know. Not a good day for them. Nope. And you have to know your real racial history, and you will never question. Well, maybe they didn't really, nowadays, maybe they didn't really. No. If you know your real racial history, oh, yes, they did mean it. Oh, yes, it was on purpose. Okay, because we're getting good at hiding our racism and our sick depravities. But if you know your history, then you will know it is only changed in form.
Yes.
And so you will actually understand better the problems we have today and why we still have systemic racism and this barbaric, horrific things happening today. I mean, for an example, ask a realtor about redlining. They know about it. It's on their test today. It is on the exam. They have to pass that redlining. People think, oh, that was in the past. Oh, really? Tell me more. Mm-hmm. Almost more segregated than 64. That's in the past. Anyway, I'm blabbing. But no. It has changed.
I apologize for interrupting.
That's okay.
People use past tense is like we're seeing people. I mean, the thing about it is we talked about the lynchings that are going on right now.
And they're all suicides, right, Anastasia? Oh, yeah. Yeah, right.
Yep.
I mean, look at Ahmaud Arbery. My God. Yeah, it wasn't around his neck, but it might as well have been.
Yep.
The whole town kept quiet.
Yeah.
That was a small town, and oh my God, so incestuous. All those people. So that woman, I can't remember her name, that somebody mentioned earlier. Oh,
Jackie Johnson.
Jackie Johnson.
Yep.
You see the picture of her with murder chum.
I seen it.
How dare she? With great power comes even greater responsibility. And I know that sounds cliche, but our history is going to just look back upon us and be disgusted.
But this is why they're trying so hard for that not to happen. That's why the whole thing about CRT and the 1619 project.
What our real racial history told? No way.
Juneteenth. You don't
make it a holiday.
Exactly. The situation where in Texas you can't teach about Martin Luther King and I Have a Dream speech, because then if they read the full I Have a Dream speech, the letters from Birmingham, and they're like, oh, wait a minute. So it's not that they don't want Black people to know, they don't want white people to know. That's what it is.
They don't want us to know our real racial history. They
Nope.
do not want us to. And you know what? You're doing a damn good job keeping it out of public schools. Keep it definitely, a lot of private schools. They are keep your parents, if you're white, your parents tell me, if you're white, write to me. If your parents taught you what systemic racism was and what your role in it is and could be for the future, tell me. Right? Yeah. I want to know. And you know what? I won't get any letters. And I know that, and that's okay. But I'm just saying, there's no institution that will fully, comprehensively teach us white folks our real racial history. It has to come from us. And that's why I do this. White folks, it is our responsibility to teach other white folks the truth. And no, they do not want to hear it. No. And it is a long journey, but it can be done. And it needs to be done.
I agree.
And I won't go into that because I have a lot of videos on that, but all right. Do you want to say anything else about this? The hair and the, oh God.
I mean, we found the dude, I forget what the guy's name because I don't remember murderers and liars' names, but the one that created phrenology, he had rooms and rooms of skulls. Like, I mean, the people that killed off all the Aborigines and the Tasmanians, like, you got to remember, in this country, we welcome Nazis, and the Nazis learned from us. From us, not the other way around. So what else? When you have Black people's skin suits that you made, you fed Black children to alligators.
Got 2 videos on that, and it's barbaric, but it's the truth.
I look like the meme right now. You know that meme that is like,
what are you gonna do? It's the truth. Yeah, people get mad at me. Oh, you just hate white people. No, I don't. I just love the truth. Okay, how's that? You can say I hate white people, but that's just another denial, another classic cliche denial of systemic racism. Oh, I'm just saying it because I hate. I am sick of the BS watching my fellow humans be tormented. I'm sorry. It's depraved. And I won't shut up about it. And yeah, they can kick me off of everything they want and I'll just keep coming back. Yeah, I cried for an hour when they demonetized me for no reason today, about an hour ago. Because this meshed me. It's personal with me. And that's a whole other story. I'm not a hero. I'm not a leader of any sort, but I cannot stand watching and doing nothing with this kind of injustice. It's barbaric. And I'll shut up now. Do you want to go on to the next one? Oh my gosh. The next video, the last video to the video of the week. We just had 3. We had more, but this one's is about black farmers on YouTube. And do you want to talk a little bit about that? It's on YouTube, but you have a good take on it. So
right. So what we're talking about now is that they made certain dispensation for Black farmers. And of course, white people's heads blew up.
This is today, modern, today, Biden.
Right, this is modern time. We're not talking about no 40 acres and a mule. We're talking about 2021. But the thing about it is that, like I always said, white people they're not a front to getting handouts. You know what I'm saying? They're not a front to that. And the handouts that they got weren't because something was wrong. The situation with this is that we have a lot of corporate farms. A lot of these smaller farms are Black farmers, which they gave unyielding seeds to purposely, loans, defunct loans. They took land. And remember, we were talking about the massacres that white people call riots.
We call riots, but they were murders. They were race murders.
Right.
Race massacres.
Right. What they did was, what a lot of people don't understand, it was a land grab. So now, okay, some white woman somewhere, pick a town, she says, or her father says she was touched or looked at. Now we go all into the town, destroy all the businesses, kill all the black people run away, right?
Anyone you can grab.
Right. So what's her name? Nazi Barbie, Marjorie Green.
Oh,
right?
Marjorie. Yeah, I can't mention her name anymore, but yeah, you can.
Forsyth County, right? And I think that's the town that Oprah went to, right? The whitest town. How did that become the whitest town? Because they did genocide in the town, ran all the black people out. What did they do? Moved into their houses, then got the apparatus of the local law to say they abandoned their homes.
Yeah. So it's about property.
I'm sorry?
Property, like you're saying, right. Property.
So now you have the generational wealth that you stole. So this is the thing. For the most part, everybody in Forsyth County knows about this. Okay. You know that your grandparents or great grandparents did not own that home. They know that. So what I'm going to talk about more about black farmers, but let's talk about all the times that white people were given handouts. The 1830 Indian, they're using Indian, I'm not. The 1830 Indian Removal Act, the 1862 Homestead Act, the 1970 Naturalization Act, the Social Security Act of 1935. Let's go on. The GI Education Bill, Veteran Administration, Housing Authority, and Healthcare System. We always say we support our soldiers, don't we, right? Let's be clear. We didn't support all our soldiers. If anybody's been in the military, and I know you've been in there, it was called at one point in time, the new Montgomery GI Bill. Why did they need the new Montgomery GI Bill? Is because black people, black soldiers were not given health care, the education benefits. They were not given the education benefits. And those loans that I used to buy 2 of my houses, those secured loans, were not given to the black soldiers, but white soldiers got it.
Yep, they were excluded. And I have actually a friend who was literally excluded. He is that age. He was excluded.
Yeah.
He came back from a war and his white counterparts got it all and he got nothing.
Exactly. So that's when you talk about Jackie Robinson. Oh. Jackie Robinson almost went to jail because he refused to sit in the back of the bus. The many of soldiers that were murdered and lynched in their uniforms. That's what when they told me this bull crap about, we support our soldiers and everything. Come on, man. Oh. Now you got the Wagner Act of 1935. What else? Hold on, there's a couple of more. The Federal Housing Administration, Jim Crow laws. That was the ultimate give to white people. But let's remember a lot of things that went, the New Deal with FDR, that you got to remember there were certain vocations that were excluded. Yep. And guess what vocations they excluded? The vocations that were prominently held by black people, which were farmers, not what do they call it? Maids. I don't want to call them maids and butlers.
Housekeepers and people who
housekeepers and stuff like that. They were excluded from that. And like I said, a lot of things is not so much as there were laws against it. There was laws that was put into place that we couldn't get access to.
Right. We've learned how to do this, and it's very purposeful. And for new learners who are white, I know it's hard to believe, but once you move along the anti-racism continuum and you are further educated, watch, you'll start believing it.
Right.
You'll start getting it, but it takes a while because we don't know our own racial history.
No.
So we're like, what? It was all purposeful.
Right. I'll close on the fact of the matter is that what we also have to keep in the back of our minds, that the great migrations, the reason why a lot of times you don't see Black farmers is because they was like, the hell with this, I'm out. Because after Juneteenth, it was called the Great Scatter. So people went everywhere trying to find their family members, because General Granger, when he gave that finally said, hey, you're free, whatever. Like, first of all, you can't make us free, just like you couldn't make us slaves. You just did that, right?
Yeah.
He told them in that speech, you should stay here and work with these people as an employee, employer. And plus, a lot of these people have been raped. So now there's family involved. Plus, during that time, other people didn't know that, about emancipation. So they left. So now you had the Great Migration.
That's 2 years later.
Right, exactly. The Great Migration, where Black people was like, I'm not going to stay down South and be here with these people and be, treated as such. So they left. That's why you got a lot of Black people from South Carolina, me being one of them. My grandfather was doing the Great Migration, and he left South Carolina and went to New York and went up north in Chicago and all of these places where there's a great concentration of Black people. That's because of the Great Migration. And that's all I got to say.
No, I love it. And I just wanted to chime in one more, because we got to get going on the topics of oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about to everybody. And we want to hear what you have to say. If you watch the video on farming, it's a very simple video that I have on my channel. It basically says there was a gazillion Black farmers, and over time, now there's practically none. And it is absolutely purposeful. We did this. Not you personally, but as a society.
You benefit from it.
We shoved them, pushed them, did whatever we could to get them out. Yep, my family did the Great Migration from North Carolina to Pennsylvania. Yeah. Wow.
So can I say this?
Absolutely.
She said something, Talanda said about the scarf. This is actually a Palestinian keffiyeh. And so the reason why I wear my keffiyeh is to let my Palestinian brothers and sisters know that, listen, if nobody's free, if you're not free, nobody's free. Learn about the Palestinian keffiyeh and what it means to the Palestinian people, how they used it and what it became a symbol of. Just like the Pan-African colors for us, this is similar to them. And to answer your question about my notes in the back, so that is my husband and my anniversary. I gave that to him as an anniversary gift. It's our song. It's Spend My Life by Tamia and Eric Benet. So it's the notes, is the song, and our names and our anniversary, which is on Halloween.
That's so precious. Oh my gosh. That is no problem. That's wonderful. Wow. You're such a wealth of information and just wisdom. It's like you blow me away every time I talk to you. Let's move on to Texas abortion law. Now, I'm going to start, and I'm going to go real fast because I'm the boring part. And Anastasia has the good, exciting part. So I don't want to make everyone snooze, but you as a person need to know what is going on here. It's exactly what everyone thought was going to be going on with a few extras and craziness involved. So I'm going to I'm going to talk about the law. I'm going to just put it right out there and be blunt as usual. And then I know Anastasia will have lots to say about it. And so if I start blabbing, just jump right in and I'll, it's a little bit long. It's longer than I want to, but this is interesting. So what is this new law in Texas about? Texas new abortion law is an abomination to all human beings that support human rights, in my not so humble sometimes opinion. It is absolutely effing ludicrous. And you have no idea what I am, pro this, pro that. No, I am talking about this particular law. Once again, the far right has failed to use science. Failed. Just science? What's that? But instead chosen to play on the emotions of people. Oh, make us feel, and total misogyny. The new law, known as Senate Bill 8, went into effect last Wednesday after the Supreme Court just didn't block it. Not sure what else to say. It makes abortion illegal once fetal cardiac activity can be detected. No, I did not say heartbeat. I said fetal cardiac activity, which I'll explain later, which is around 6 weeks into pregnancy. The law is troubling on so many levels because it sets the stage for all the other states to follow suit with the ultimate goal of overturning Roe versus Wade. The law will take away women's rights, their autonomy over our own bodies, but it does so much more than that. Please understand that abortion will not be stopped by these laws. Oh no, don't even go there. They will simply become exceedingly dangerous for those who cannot afford to go out of state, way out of state, for an abortion, because they will be done underground, secretively, with a person who is not licensed, likely, and it will kill people, and it will kill poor people. Additionally, the law will grossly and disproportionately harm the poorest people among us, which means Black people and brown people who are already unjustly more likely to be impoverished due to systemic racism and the ongoing systemic racism. So we are just adding another knife into the, this is sick. According to Elizabeth Sepper, religious liberty and health law professor at the University of Texas, and some of these guys have some serious, if you're in the abortion business, you got to be able to, she says, the law allows private vigilantes to file lawsuits harassing people based on suspicion that they're attempting to have an abortion, might have donated to an abortion fund, driven someone to an abortion clinic, paid for, or helped someone get an abortion. Okay, there, etc. The list goes on. This is not inclusive. She goes on to say that there's even a provision that says you can sue someone for intending to engage in contact that aids or abets an abortion. That's thought crime. Okay, they haven't done it. So we have crossed the line, okay, and gone to the other side. Those who sue don't even have to be connected to the person seeking the abortion. They don't have to know anything about the person. They don't have to know if the fetus doesn't have a brain. They don't have to know anything. They don't have to know if it was a violent rape. They don't have to know a thing. Just imagine these people who, if they sue and are successful, they're entitled to minimum $10,000 in damages plus their legal fees. They're going to profit. Okay, just imagine people suspiciously following you around the drugstore, contemplating you actually, maybe you're thinking of maybe buying a home pregnancy test because you're going to have your first child, and they're watching you going, cha-ching. This is sick shit, people. This is like, imagine your neighbors, teachers, relatives, and even strangers suspecting that you might not want to keep some sort of pregnancy. You might want to have an abortion. They will be eligible to have at least $10,000 plus the legal fees. Anyone, absolutely anyone, can be an informant. I believe they don't even have to live in your state. And North Korea is famous for having informants planted in communities all over the place. Okay, this is what they do. And now this is what we do in order to spy on people, to turn them in, whoever dares not to pray to Kim Jong-un as a god. Okay? And here we are. So let's start with this arbitrary, I told you this kind of goes on and on, so, but this is a lot. Let's start with the arbitrary 6.
No, it's okay. We need to learn. Go ahead.
Really important. This is not just for the people in Texas. Let's start. Thank you, Anna. Let's start with the arbitrary 6 weeks marker. So you've heard the law. Now let's talk about some facts about the pregnancy. Okay. Most women don't even know they're pregnant until they miss their period, which can be well past 6 weeks. Not everybody has a regular cycle. Come on, let's be adults here. Many pregnancies do not show up on a home pregnancy test until after 6 weeks. Okay, let's go to the science. Okay, this heartbeat, what kind of bullshit is this? It's far right bullshit. There isn't one. According to science, remember that, science, the flutters you hear are actually electrical impulses located, and I'll probably have to say this twice, inside the cluster of cells that can sometimes be heard at around 6 weeks with special technology. This cell cluster is located inside the group of cells that are approximately the size of a rice grain. People, a rice grain, this is your child, okay? The flutter is electrical currents inside something as big as a rice grain.
Not heartbeat.
Medical doctors say that the fetal heartbeat that defines Texas's new abortion law simply does not exist, and that it's not because it's not a heartbeat. Okay, but don't mind that. Don't let that get in the way. Okay, an OBGYN who specializes in abortion care at American College of Obstetricians and Gynecology says, I love their quotes because they are blunt, because they know what they're talking about, because they have to deal with people who are fanatical and don't care about science. When I use a stethoscope to listen to an adult patient's heart, the sound I'm hearing is caused by an opening and a closing of the cardiac valves. She goes on to say, the sound generated by an ultrasound in a very early pregnancy is quite different, she says. At 6 weeks of gestation, those valves don't exist. Okay, now let's talk about reality and the fiasco of the law. And I get a little emotional about this, but I'm going to race through this because I want to hear what Anna has to say. The Texas abortion law does not make exceptions for rape or for incest. You will carry your rapist baby. Imagine finding out the heartbreaking news that your child will be born without a brain or without vital organs for survival. Or you find out at 8 weeks that if it's brought to term, your child will be born, and this is real. I have read cases, oh my God, your child will be born with an agonizing disorder, be disfigured, be in a vegetative state, and will die within the hour. But no, 8 weeks, you will bring that child to term and watch your child suffer and die. Now, whereas it might not even have neurons before, because it is not a child, you will be forced to bring a vegetable, your precious child, who will die in your arms. Can't receive an abortion. Okay. Most girls are able to conceive a child, technically, they get their periods between 10 years old and 15. That's the average. Research tells us that children and teens who have been sexually assaulted often don't disclose it for years. Okay, let's just be honest here. Every single piece of research I saw, most people who are raped take it to the grave. It's a secret they never tell a soul. There have been study after study after study. The stats say 2% of rape people even end up charging and less get convicted. Okay. Yeah. Imagine a girl's uncle who's been raping her each week. She's only 10 years old. She doesn't really know how babies are even made. She's 10 years old. She will be forced to carry this child to term, endangering her life. And anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. This is barbarically sick and it is, okay, I'll shut up. Anastasia, would you like to add anything to this? Because I know you have some comments.
Right? Bullet points. America is used to girls, children, babies carrying their rapist baby. I'm not just talking about enslaved women. I'm talking about victims of rape carrying their rapist baby, okay? America does that. The second thing about it is, how many children were produced out of rape in the Bible? Think about it. And what happens? Her honor is for the person that raped her to marry her. You see what I'm saying?
There are states still today that a parent can force a child to, I don't want to jump ahead of you, to marry their rapist so they don't get prosecuted. Yes, you heard
what I'm saying.
The United States. Sorry.
Look at the law against married couples testifying against each other. You think that was made for the woman or for the man? Think about it. Just when you break stuff down in the Bible, how many children were from rape, and the girl had to, or was made honor to marry the rapist. These laws about the ages of consent, you had to make an age of consent. And then let's look at the ages in certain states of consent. You see what I'm saying? So
absolutely. We have some barbaric laws on the books still.
Women, enslaved Black women were made into baby making cattle. They were raped. But let's go to the people that care about fetuses the most. Conservatives, right? But listen, these are their own words. Rape is kind of like the weather. If it's inevitable, relax and enjoy it. Clayton Williams, Republican in Texas. If it's a legitimate rape, I didn't know there was such thing as
legitimate.
He said, if it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down. Todd Atkin, a Republican. Rape victims should make the best of a bad situation. Rick Santorum, he's still around, isn't he? Okay. Even when life begins in that horrible situation of rape, it is something that God intended to happen. Richard Murdoch. In the emergency room, they have what's called rape kits, where women can get cleaned out. Jody Laudenberg. And
these are people who we vote for.
But listen, guess what she is? A blonde, white woman. If a woman has the right to an abortion, why shouldn't a man be free to use his superior strength to force himself on a woman? At least the rapist's pursuit of sexual freedom doesn't, in most cases, result in anyone's death. Lawrence Lockman.
At least? These are like, this isn't like 200 years ago, is it, Anastasia?
No.
The people we vote for.
The first one, he said that in 1990. He said that in 1990. This one, the one that said legitimate rape, that was in 2012.
Legitimate. Oh my God.
And he was a member of Congress.
Mm-hmm.
So the other one, 2012, Rick Santorum. These are not things that were so far. 2012, Richard Murdoch, he said that. Let me see. I'm just trying to go down the list. And as far as rape kits, this person said this in 2014. So all of these things are contemporary things that they're saying. And let's be clear. Yesterday, I think, Governor Abbott said,
yep, he did.
No,
I'm sorry, you can't even say it.
We're going to stop all this rapey stuff.
Yeah.
All this rapey stuff. So, yeah, there I am, the emoji right there.
What are you gonna do?
Let's be clear. You're not going to stop abortion. You're not going to stop abortion. You're going to stop legal and safe abortions. Globally, 70,000 women a year die from abortions, illegally unsafe abortions. Or if they don't die from it, they're horribly scarred and cannot produce children after that. 70,000 women die though. So the thing about it is, I'm looking at our notes. Were you going to play the "If These Walls Can Talk" video?
Yeah, I can see if I can get that up right now. Let me try.
No, you don't have to play it if you don't want to. I was just saying I didn't know if we were going to play it.
Yes. I can't play that one because I don't think I have the rights. I was going to put the when we got to the point that we were going to talk about the real reason all this stuff's going on.
Oh, okay. So let me finish this.
Yes.
If anybody knows, it's a movie called "If These Walls Can Talk." Mm-hmm. So in "If These Walls Can Talk," there's a "If These Walls Can Talk" 1 and 2. And in the first one, it's about female reproductive rights. And it goes from 1952 to 1971. Then it's I think 1971. And then it goes in the 90s to 2000s, right? Mm-hmm. And so in there, it talks about every stage of where a woman would be. A woman that unfortunately gets pregnant for whatever reason and wants to end the pregnancy. A woman that is married and they have all these children and she just doesn't want to have a baby. Mm-hmm. Then there's a woman that she gets pregnant by her professor. And this is the time that they were killing abortion doctors.
Right, abortion clinic doctors. And
again, right. A trigger warning. I'm just letting you know it's very graphic. It was done in 1986, and it had Demi Moore and Sissy Spacek was in it. And Demi Moore's part, her husband, it was in 1956. I think her husband had been killed or something in whatever way he was killed. And she had sex with his brother. And, she found out she was pregnant. It was like, what am I going to do? And she tried to help from everybody. And finally, she received a number for some backdoor abortionists that came to her house, didn't, sanitize anything. The next scene, now he did this abortion on her kitchen table. So the scene that you're going to see is her expressions to what no anesthesia, nothing. The next scene you see is her bleeding profusely from her genital parts, trying to call for help. And she dies. There's no way with that amount of blood loss that she didn't die. And many women died like this. A lot of Black and brown women specifically died or were forever made infernal.
Right.
From that. And it's a scene in For Colored Girls. I don't know if anybody's seen that. It's like a poem that was made in the 70s for colored girls who think about suicide when the rainbow is too much, but it's usually just called For Colored Girls. And in one of the first stories, it talks about a young girl and she has her first time and she ends up getting pregnant. But then later on, she gets a backdoor abortion and she talks about how she'll never be able to have children again. And she was only like 16.
It's not going to stop anything. It's going to just make it incredibly dangerous. Yeah. And you know what? The far right knows this. There are other reasons why they are pushing and pushing and pushing the abortion ticket. And it's not because they care about Just wait till you're born. They don't give a, you know what. So do you want to go into some of that stuff right now about, and I can play the Jane Elliott. Oh, I just lost your sound.
I would rather you play the Jane Elliott
Right now?
and then we'll stand on her shoulders and talk more about it.
Sounds great. Let me see what I can do. So we're going to play a very short video. Boom, 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 and boom. Okay. This is Jane Elliott. She's famous for the blue eyes, brown eyes experiment that she did when Dr. Martin Luther King was murdered, and she had a classroom of children.
You haven't read the book, The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Ben Wattenberg was a brilliant Jewish man who was a member of the American Enterprise Institute, and he wrote a book, the first paragraph of which says, "The main problem confronting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country." He was an advisor to presidents of the United States. He wrote the book in 1987. He says if we don't change this and change it rapidly, white people will lose their numerical majority in this country, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now, I'm not misrepresenting this. I'm telling you almost exactly what he says. He says there are 3 things we can do to solve this. Number 1, we could pay women to have babies, as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants that are allowed in here. Then once again, he says, unfortunately, the vast majority of those wanting to come to this country today are people of color, so we don't want to do that. The third thing he says, and women had better pay attention to this, 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth.
There we are. Now, if I can get us back, that will be a good trick. Let me see. 1 second. Whoa. This is always a trick. This is always a trick. Let me see if I can get us back.
Yes, ma'am.
I might need a little help. Oh, did something.
I wish I could help you from here. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's all me, and I got this. I got this. Boop.
Look at that.
Back. We're back. Oh
Thank
my
you.
God. Kind of everywhere. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. I pressed a button. Thank you. So yeah, that. Damn. She speaks the truth. She's my very first mentor I ever had when I was 18 years old, and she speaks the truth.
So a lot of people were talking about the value about it. So what Jane Elliott was talking about is called the birth dearth. And this Jewish man, he wrote a book about it. And what he was talking about, and as everybody knows now, right? Globally, first of all, Europeans, white people, new white people, because we know we had some new white people that was assimilated into the old white people in the United States, but that's a conversation for another time. Globally, they are the minority. In the US, white people are the majority, but those days are over, right? So what he was saying was we have options of what we can do. We can pay women to have babies, but that means we got to pay all women to have babies. What he said was 2, we could have more white immigrants come in and have babies. But if we let more white immigrants in, we're going to have to let all the immigrants come in. So let's see how all of this puts together. See, because I think these people think all of us are stupid. So the push to stopping abortions is about the birth dearth, and that the white race is not necessarily dying out, but are in the minority. and there are going to be more biracial children than there will be fully white children. And especially here, they will be a minority. So here you have building the wall. Here you have like Paul Ryan, and he was like, oh, I want to put in something for more Irish immigrants. And remember Trump saying Sweden and Norway and all of these white countries. Do y'all think they was just saying these things for no reason? And was it the dude, it was Cuccinelli that said, you know, the writing that was supposedly on the Statue of Liberty, and he was like, oh, that was when white people were coming in. Remember he said that?
Oh, and yeah,
He said that. I think his name was Ken Cuccinelli. And he said,
racist.
that was when white people were coming in. But the funny thing about it is, when those people were coming to Ellis Island, the Italians, the Dutch, the Germans, they didn't consider them white. The Scottish, they didn't consider those people white. Those people are new white people in this country. So when you have the abortion clinics, let's go, the abortion clinics in Black neighborhoods, but you have fertility clinics in white neighborhoods. The wall, the cut down, because you know Trump was trying to cut down on legal immigration as well. Now think about it. They were tripping about the immigration coming from the southern border, but not the northern border. They weren't worried about those Russian women coming in and having babies here.
Nope.
Or they're talking about immigration. Most of the people that are illegal, undocumented immigrants, I don't want to say illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants are people that overstayed their visas. And guess what the ethnicity of those people are? They're either Asian or white. So when we're talking
it's about white supremacy.
Right, it's all about white supremacy. And if you have a buffer race, the model race, I'll have that. Because guess what? They align with white supremacy. So that's what that's about.
Yep, it is, you know, it kind of, when you say it like that, and I absolutely agree, it really does help people understand the hypocrisy and the strange, like, far right arguments that don't really make sense, but then they're into this, but they're not into that. It's all about white supremacy. Sorry, it just is. And you might want to, I don't know if you have a chance right now, because I know we're going to go into the Candice Owen and Larry Elder stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
But there is a woman who is talking, Mickey is talking to us, and she's written a whole bunch of stuff. And if you have time, you might want to address it. I'm not following. I was trying to explain, these are not our personal, I mean, this is not, I can't speak for you, of course, although I'll try. These are my personal views. We're analyzing the Texas law and explaining why it's ascientific and it's far right propaganda and whatnot. My personal view on abortion, nobody knows my personal view on abortion except probably like very few people.
I'll tell you let me read. She said,
let's read what she has.
The law is very specific in its stance that basically abortion is murder.
You got to go before that, though. She's written two other things. Sorry to interrupt. She's written two other things before that, so you got to kind of check.
Okay, you are being disingenuous. If you believe in abortions, then you should believe in financial abortions for males. If women can kill. Okay, so let me explain something about that. I'm not going to read all of that. This is the thing. First of all, I don't believe in abortion or not abortion. I believe in minding your business. Mind your business. The fact of the matter is, if this woman decides to end her pregnancy, if this woman decides to give the child up for adoption, or whatever she's going to do, that's for her and her family to decide. The fact of the matter is, Bo of the Fifth said it perfectly. He doesn't like tattoos. Did you see that one? He said, I don't like tattoos.
Let me guess. He didn't get one.
Right. He didn't get one. If you don't like abortions and tattoos, don't get one.
Don't do it.
You don't have the right to tell anybody what they should be doing with their body. If that's the case, I want all of those rolled penises. I want all of them strapped. I want all of them up there too. And this is the thing. The funny thing about it is people don't have a problem paying for Viagra. If you want to lean on this thing for God, well, God made or allowed your penis to be limp. So you should have a limp penis, and I shouldn't have to pay for that. So I'm not even going to address that, because what a woman does with her own body is what a woman does with her body. And the fact of the matter is that if you believe in God, I'm not going to have to deal with that. She's going to have to deal with that. So 2 tears in a bucket. That's the way I feel about it.
Okay. Well, I read it, and I'm not trying to be argumentative, and I'm trying to understand what she's trying to say. I don't know if you were here, Nikki, for the part where we went over the actual law, exactly what the law states and the science of it, and what's been happening. And you might have been. I'm not trying to belittle you in any way, shape, or form. You are absolutely entitled to your opinion, but I'm kind of confused because my opinion, nobody really knows. We were dissecting the law, and the law as it states is ascientific. It's not scientifically valid. It just isn't. Whether I was for or against or pro or not, it has nothing to do with it. And we've used we're not using our personal opinions as our a guide. We're using scientific facts and kind of stuff like that. So the part about it being against all abortions wrong, or let me just see. Let me back up there. Let me see about basically that it's basically abortion is murder. I did not see that in the law, so I couldn't speak to it because I wouldn't speak to it because I mean it might be in there, but I didn't see it, so I can't talk about something I don't know about, and I'd have to read that. That's just. I just wanted to clarify because everybody's opinion is welcome. Obviously, within reason. You know how I feel about certain things.
Yeah. I'm not gonna, as a butterfly, I'm not gonna convince a fly that shit tastes like shit. If you want to keep eating shit, fly, go ahead and do what you got to do. I'm gonna be over here with these flowers. And the simple fact of the matter is that it's so funny to me how when it comes to masks and it comes to vaccines and it comes to this, is my body, my choice. But as soon as we talk about this, it's a big problem. The fact of the matter is that, and you know, it's this show called Dark Matter 2525. And he talks about how God advocates for abortions in the Bible. And I put the quote in the comments. The simple fact of the matter, if your wife cheats on you, in this law or whatever the case may be, it gives no dispensations for anything. So the simple fact of the matter is, we're talking about the Bible and what the Bible says. How many pregnant women were killed during the flood? How many pregnant women were killed during Sodom and Gomorrah? How many women, you understand? They love to bring up this walls of Jericho or whatever. How many pregnant women were killed and children were killed doing that? If you're going to cherry pick certain things, just cherry pick it. But don't act like it's built on this rock solid statement. Now, this is my opinion. If you don't like it, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, and that she can speak for herself obviously quite well. And in my view, I'm going on this particular law. I am not espousing any of my views about abortion, anti-abortion, pro.
Don't worry, I am. Mind your business. Mind your business. Unless that person is hurting someone else, mind your business.
Yeah, so we absolutely, the only thing we do not do on this show is we do not debate our fellow humans' civil and human rights. But so we're fine with your opinion. That's your opinion. She told you her opinion, and I am not telling you my opinion. I am telling you point blank, this law is it's ascientific. It's not scientific. It's unscientific. I guess that's the word to use. And therefore, that's all I can say.
Can I ask you a question? So a woman doesn't get pregnant by herself. So if she gets pregnant, right? If she gets pregnant, Donald Trump said specifically somebody should get punished, right? So my question is, what this man is involved. So what is going to be his part in it? Because nobody ever wants to speak about these rogue penises going around having kids like franchises. The thing about it is that let's go back to the birth dearth. If you're pregnant, right, and you can't be at work because you got a babysitter, that means I don't have to compete with you for a job. So you also got to understand that a lot of women who are having these abortions are white women. Black women have abortions too. But what I'm saying is a lot of Black women don't have money to have these abortions. So now, white women, here's you helping white male patriarchy, because if you know that Black or brown woman is not there to compete with you, it's just going to be you and your boo-boo again together. And he's going to put you in that speckled cage that you've always been in. Even though yours look bigger and better than mine, it's still a cage because they don't like y'all asses either.
All right. How do you feel about moving on to teach us about, it's always a talk. This is called Real Talk, and we're being real. And so yeah, Candice Owens and Larry Elders. Do you want to go into that stuff? Because our last segment.
Again, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. Nothing surprises me about that swamp rat and that bugaboo. That's what I call them, swamp rat and bugaboo. Would you know which one is which? They're indispensable. You can use either one.
Tell us, like, we don't know anything. Tell us all about these two. And
so,
if you don't mind.
First of all, I'm pretty sure everybody knows who Candice Owens is. Candice Owens is a conservative pundit that came on a stage. Basically, racism doesn't exist and Black people are the worst. Everything that has been done to you is your fault. And I know racism because my grandfather, when she put her grandfather, her great-grandfather up there as a puppet or whatever the case may be, and she says the white things white people want to say. I don't pay Candice Owens any mind. Larry Elder has been a sellout. He's been a sellout for years. He's also attacked white women. And so, the both of them are crap. Candice Owens and the young Candice Owens actually had an anti-Trump website. She also, because racism doesn't exist. When she was in high school, I think it was the mayor's son, allegedly, it was the mayor's son that threatened to kill her because she was Black and they didn't like her. And she actually won a case with the NAACP. So
no racism, though. So
there's no such thing as racism according to Swamp Rat. So she's a grifter, and so is Larry Elder. Larry Elders. But where they're at right now is they said the ultimate thing that I think their white Jesus, and white people have been waiting for them to say for the longest, is that nobody should get reparations because if we start giving reparations, then we should give reparations to slave owners. And Swamp Rat, Candice Owens says, oh, I didn't know that. Wait a minute. You speak. I'm going towards the Dunning-Kruger effect with the two of these cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
No, they didn't know what. Let me interrupt you. I'm so sorry. She didn't know what about that slave owners were actually given reparations?
Yes, she said that.
Yeah, well, maybe we need to tell some of the white folks watching might not know that.
Yes, slave owners.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I want you to do it. Go ahead.
Slave owners were actually given reparations for their losses
of property. Because the government took their losses, took their property.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. And since we want to talk about things, let's talk about Haiti. Because the reason why Haiti is in poverty right now is because they were threatened by France that you're going to pay me money for my lost property, being people that look like me. And guess who helped them out? The United States.
Good old US of A.
Good old US of A. So slave owners were given reparations, $300 per person that they owned. So understand that. So their cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs thing is, before we talk about giving reparations, we need to understand who should really be getting reparations, because the government took away white. I'm not even gonna say that.
We're buying into humans as property. What the hell? I mean, basically.
From them. So if we're gonna give out reparations, we should be giving out reparations to white slave owners too. This is the thing. If I wanted to talk to them, I would go to www.askadumbbmotherfucker.com. And listen, you know, I know we're supposed to be saying excuse the profanity. I'm not.
No, I'm not. It's real talk.
Because I don't give a goddamn when it comes to stupidity.
YouTube's trying to boot me off anyway. I say go for it.
Yeah, whatever. What are your thoughts, ma'am?
Well, I know white folks enjoy and take a lot of happiness in finding people. Maybe it's just one, but they will find it. Finding a person who's Black, brown, indigenous, of mixed heritage, who is non-white, who will say everything that they feel and want to say. And it's coming from a white person. It's absolutely racist as fuck. But they will find their Black person, sampling of one, of course, or two maybe, in the entire US. And that's it. That's it. You see, they said it. And we are in such denial.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Everybody is looking at that. Candice Owens is about the grift from selling bullshit cell phones called freedom phones. Did you know that? Freedom phones, right? To Black Sid, that she supposedly coined the phrase, and then it was like, use a lie. Come on, dude. The fact of the matter is that I'm gonna read real quick, and this is from the Daily Mail, right? And it's, now mind you, California gubernatorial candidate Larry Elder argued in favor of reparations for former slavers during a July interview with Candice Owens. I'm gonna put this in the comment section. He said slave owners had their legal property taken away from them at the end of the Civil War, and they lost a significant amount of money. He said, you look at the amount of money adjusted for today's dollars, it's a great deal of money. He also noted that other countries compensated slave owners with substantial amounts of money after they lost property following the abolition of slavery. The conservative radio host is also known for repeatedly denouncing the existence of systematic racism.
2021. God help us all. I don't know what to say.
Candice, this is what she said. When he said that, she was like, oh, I didn't know that. How? Swamp rat? Bugaboo? What? How? And then, I'm always thinking, and I shouldn't say these type of things, but that's why your edges look like that, because when you know how they say that white people age like mayonnaise or cottage cheese because of all that evil and racism. When you see people's edges that look like that, female edges that look like that, that's why. I'm honest with you about that.
Well, I appreciate it because that's what I try to do, is be as honest as possible and in everything. So why in the hell wouldn't I do it about systemic racism and our real racial history? I mean, why would I'll be honest about everything else, but not this.
Right, but listen, he noted that other countries, such as the United Kingdom, compensated slave owners with substantial amounts of money after that. That's why there was no war in the UK. The slave owners got substantial amounts of money, he said. That's what he said.
I mean, I'm not going to speak to these people, as you know, as a white person. I don't go there, but you certainly can. I definitely have an opinion. I will not be espousing it. There's just too many white folks to be that I can do that for.
Can I finish? Can I finish what this these two swamp rats said?
Absolutely. Sorry, I didn't need to.
No, it's okay. Oh, they said a lot, baby. They said a lot. He said, and I'm only going to read a little bit of this. Elder also argued that racism is not the number one problem the Black community is facing, but instead argued that having a father in the home is far more damaging. A kid today is less likely to be born under a roof with a biological mother and father than a kid during slavery. Did you hear that? No, but did you break down all that stupid down? A kid nowadays is less likely to be born with a father in the home than a kid was during slavery.
I'm out.
Did you know he said that too?
I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. I don't know what to say. I'm out. I'm never out, but I'm out.
So your mom is a house slave and your dad is the one that raped her. Congratulations. Both your biological mother, and I'm not laughing because it's funny, but that sounds super stupid.
Well, it's just ludicrous. And what are you going to do? I mean, these folks, I guess, are the heroes of white supremacists. I don't know. I mean,
it's illegal for Black people to get married. What are you talking?
Right.
Sir, swamp rat. See, this is what, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry.
You're okay. It's a very emotional. It's a very.
I'm sorry.
He says it's like psychotic thinking. It's I don't know these folks, and I don't follow them regularly, and I honestly I don't know if they are just trying to. If they truly believe this, or if they don't really know their own real racial history, or if I don't get it. But I'll tell you, white folks just love it. And it's really sad. Really sad.
Kim, I have a little pause with you now. We may not be able to do this show together anymore. You want me to tell you why?
Sure.
Because you didn't get my joke about edges. In the Black community, edges are really important, right? And so you're supposed to get the joke. The reason why Candice Owens does not have any edges is because she's stupid. So we're going to have that conversation about the importance of edges, okay?
I don't understand what edges are.
Your edges are your hair.
Oh, there we go. I didn't know.
Yes. People are going to talk about you. You're not invited to the cookout right about now. We got to put you in timeout.
My invitation's lost in the mail. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm in trouble. You know what? I learn something every day. I'm absolutely candid and happy to say if I have no idea what you're saying, I will say it. I could tell you were saying something and I missed it, but I didn't want to interrupt you because I was running.
Okay. Quick, unserious break. Okay, edges. The edges of your hair, right? Very important in the Black community. A lot of Black women, because of systematic racism, the laws against Black hair and that natural Black hair growing out of your head, you know, they made it illegal. They made it unkept. Madam C.J. Walker, as much as everybody likes to believe that she was a great person, but she was selling straightener. Okay. So because of all the braids and because of the liquid crack, as we call it, the relaxers, a lot of Black women don't have edges. See, if you pull your hair back, you have edges on the side of your hair. Me, on the other hand, I do not. You know why? Because when I joined the Army, wearing your natural hair, you couldn't wear, and if you did wear braids, they couldn't look like braids. So I had to have these little micro braids, and you know what those little things did? They pulled out. Exactly. So a lot of Black women have traction alopecia. So edges, traction alopecia. Remember these vocabulary words.
I will.
Traction alopecia and edges. Get it together, Kim.
You're
Do
so
better.
I know, I'm really better. I'm willing to learn. Have pity on me. You're wonderful, Anastasia. That's, oh my gosh. I'm learning. I'm getting there. Well, you know, It's funny because, you know, my little girl, she is dying to have her hair not, and I said,
don't do it.
My dead body.
Don't do it.
I said, over my dead body.
No, don't do it.
Hair's gorgeous.
She'll ruin her hair. I'm telling you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so lucky to have so many friends that teach me all this. And but no, I'm still learning.
Yes, but listen, if we could have a conversation on that, movies you need to watch, homework, black hair, watch that movie. And in black hair, you'll learn that a lot of the weave in the hair that's coming here is coming from India. And what they do, you know what I'm talking about. They cut their hair. So the fact of the matter, black hair, watch the movie with Chris Rock, edges and traction alopecia.
It's funny because, you know, I've read so much about hair in that regard, but I have actually never spoken to somebody at length. So I don't know the vocabulary. I'm like out of it, but I do know that over my dead body is my little one gonna destroy her hair. I said, honey, when you're 18 and you do it, you know, she says, I'm gonna eat junk food and get my hair done. I said, you do it. And you're talking to someone who just spent an hour helping her do her hair for tomorrow's first day of school. So you
see what Talonda said. She said that just went over her head. I was like, she didn't even laugh at the edges joke. Like, come on, Kim, get it together.
Well, I'm here to learn too. You're so funny. Oh, I can laugh at myself. I do it daily. All right. You want to, Anastasia, I cannot thank you enough.
Of course.
In here, and you're wonderful. You just bring so much, and you teach me, and I'm very thankful. Another wonderful show having you as a guest host, and thank you everyone who's still here. I'm not sure. Oh, go ahead.
One more thing. Somebody said about absentee fathers. I don't know if they were being ironic. He said Robert Smith said absentee fathers are the biggest problem. No, they're not the biggest problem. They're one of the problems. The fact of the matter is that you have to look at government intervention into certain things. I'm not saying that it's not a problem. Yes, we know that something around 60 to 70% of Black children are born into single parented homes. I get that. I was born in a single parent home. However, comma, my uncles were there. Just because your father is not there doesn't mean you don't have male figures in the house. The second thing about it is you got to remember, back in those days, women couldn't own property. Women were not allowed to work. So they had to marry these scuttlebutts. They had to marry people that they didn't like. Let's understand, for white people and Black people, marriage for love is a new thing. Back in the day, marriage was a contract. And nobody wants to put these things in context. That you didn't marry people because you liked them. You married them because this one had money, this one had property, this one had slaves, this one had this, or because
right.
Exactly, or because we about to go to war, so I'm gonna give you my daughter. So let's stop playing these games. The reason of the highness, the increase of single parents. One, white women have single parent home too. White women have children by multiple fathers as well, but the iconography is not put out there. Second of all, when we're talking about abortions, we talked about that. They have the funds to go get abortions. And in Black communities, having abortions, they have them, but it's not a thing. It's like, or giving kids up for adoption. They went to grandma, they went to grandpa, they went to auntie. When my mother was on drugs. She got caught in a crack epidemic that everybody keeps not talking about, right? I went to my grandfather. I went to my auntie when that happened. And then the simple fact of the matter is, let's talk about no man in the house rules that took Black fathers, mass incarceration.
The government purposely, knowingly made, there are so many reasons, and most of them have to do with systemic racism. And so when people go there, also, there's been some recent studies that I personally have looked into, and the whole absentee father thing has really turned out to be somewhat of a stereotype and myth. If you mark the times that fathers spend with their children who are Black and white fathers, a lot of studies are saying now that actually Black and brown fathers do it more.
They're saying simply Black fathers have more of an imprint on their child's life than any other group. And that's whether they're residential or non-residential. Right.
And those are the studies I've been reading. And so it's really a stereotype that they're playing into.
Exactly. And in a lot of Black and brown families, it's multi-generational. Grandma and grandpa, the uncles, the aunts, my cousin. I know my first through fifth cousins. I'm gonna tell you right now, most white people that I've met, is anecdotal, don't know their first or second cousins. Mm-hmm. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's, it all kind of goes back to systemic racism and our need for capitalism on steroids, and it all, you name it, it'll go back, follow the money and follow the white supremacy.
Right.
That lovely note. Thank you for bringing that up, because that really bothered me when I heard that. And just like T was saying, like, I just wanted to, because all the stuff I've studied more recently is actually speaking against that stereotype.
You got to call people out. No, because the fact of the matter is, you said that for a reason and you expected nobody to say anything. I can tell you, simple fact of the matter is, I was brought up in a single parent home, but I had my grandfather, my uncles, my cousins that was around me. My daughter initially was in a single parent home. My uncles, my cousins. I got married, had my twins. There was a man in the house, but I still had uncles and cousins and brothers and play cousins that were still men in the house. So that bull crap that people keep saying, it's fathers in the house. You got fathers in the house in white families. My question is, why them kids shooting up the schools and the movie theaters, and because it's a Monday, or because they had a bad day.
Yeah.
So why don't you work on that white on white crime and those active shooter things? I'm serious. There's no such thing as black on black crime.
It's black
There's
on black crime, right?
proximity crime. You're going to kill the person you're near. But I'm saying, why are you worried about Chicago when you need to be worried about Alaska with them folks up there killing themselves? Why don't you worry about all those active shooters? Why don't you worry about your kids going into these Nazi groups and the Proud Boys, and that they feel that they need to join stupid groups and being incels and shooting up yoga places? Worry about that.
Right, right. But we enjoy, like we talked about at the very beginning of the show, we white people enjoy denial. And we love denying systemic racism, and we use classic cliches to do so. And
Yep.
so we love talking about one of the first videos I ever did was on the top classic cliche denials of systemic racism. Learn them. If you're white, learn every one of them, learn to debunk them, and you are 99.9% ahead of anyone who is white in America. It is not hard to be anti-racist. You just have to care and want to be. Do you want to add anything else, Anastasia?
No, ma'am. I just want to add that you are no longer invited to the cookout until you tell me.
Wait a second. I got an invite I'm reading. You should read this.
No. But I know Sheila and Talonda. What I'm saying is, you are not invited to the cookout until you find out and can tell me what edges are, traction alopecia, and pink oil moisturizer. You got to tell me what pink oil moisturizer is the next time we talk.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what's the best gel to use on your edges? I need to know those things.
Oh, geez.
Or Blue Magic, the blue one, or Blue Magic, the green one. I'll send you a list. Don't worry about it.
Send me the question. Oh my God. Send me my homework sheet. We are starting.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for everything. Thanks for being here. Everybody who's still here, I appreciate you very, very much. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time tonight.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.